So when Ted Fleming says that the things you say in an election campaign when you're all enthusiastic shouldn't really be taken seriously, I know a lot of people are upset about this, but from my perspective, it's not so much what Ted Fleming said, it's the fact that everyone sort of knows he's telling the truth, that politicians do just say whatever they feel like saying during election campaigns, and then afterwards say, oh, well, I was just making stuff up, and expect that that's going to be okay. And the reason they think it's going to be okay is because for 150 years they've done that, and they keep on getting reelected. So you've had Liberal governments that do it, you've had Tory governments that do it, and nothing ever really changes. The Liberals did the same thing back in 2006 when they were running for re-election. You had Sean Graham coming out and saying he was going to take the HST off of electricity bills. And then once he became Premier, he said that no, he wasn't. Of course, the Tories then turned around, and David Alward as leader, turned around and asked over 200 questions in question period in the legislature about the fact that Sean Graham had broken his word and talked about how terrible this was. So part of what bothers me with this, it's not just the fact that the politicians don't tell the truth, not the fact that afterwards they say that you should expect your politicians to lie. It's then they've got the gall to go into the ledge and start acting all superior and say, oh, how could you possibly have done this? There's going to be times if I'm elected Premier next year when we're going to have to come out and say, look, there was stuff we talked about, we hoped to do, we've tried it, and it hasn't worked. What do you think about how we should fix it? And to me, that seems like an adult way of handling government, that you've got to be able to have that back and forth with the public service and with the public about what works in government and what doesn't. And not every idea works. The important thing is to try. And what we've seen instead in New Brunswick is politicians stop trying. We haven't seen any really new and exciting government programs for a long time. We've just seen the old ones run badly. So what I'm going to try and do next year in the NDP campaign is we're going to have lots of details about the groups that we've met with. So I'll be in our platform. We're going to have a big platform book for anyone who's interested in reading all the fine print, but then a short political document just saying, look, here's the campaign pledges that you can judge us by. We're going to have a short, concise platform, spell out very clearly how we're going to get the job done on those very small number of issues, and talk about our general approach to government, trying to make things more efficient, make sure that we save money where we can, get government to focus on the things that it does well, not on trying to do everything badly. And we'll do all of those things in the first 100 days. We'll get those big priorities underway so that you'll be able to know by end of next year, end of 2014, early 2015, whether a Cardy-led NDP government is on the right track or not. And when we run up against obstacles and things that don't seem to be going so well or we have problems, let's come out and tell you. Because I think that seems like a pretty straightforward way of handling what otherwise turns into this ridiculous back and forth. And the pretty depressing spectacle we saw this morning of the health minister coming out and saying that you should never believe anything politicians say. So for the NDP, be short, concise. We'll invite you to measure us on what we do and punish us if we don't tell you the truth. Seems pretty straightforward.